In the dark corners of history and on the margins of forgotten societies, one of the most terrifying and controversial creeds was born: devil worship. This creed began as a symbolic idea of rebellion against prevailing religious and social values, and it soon transformed, in the eyes of some of its followers, into a fully developed and genuine religion with its own rituals, sacred texts, official churches, and even individuals who are granted the title of saints. Although many people view it as nothing more than a Western myth or a teenage phase driven by a desire for excitement and attention, reality carries another, far darker face. Behind the curtain, organized groups affiliated with devil worship operate in secrecy. They establish for themselves precise internal structures and spread across major cities around the world, from San Francisco to Cairo, and from the pages of the dark web to the depths of unknown caves. So how did the image of the devil transform from a being cursed in the Holy Scriptures into a symbol that is celebrated? Who are the ones who worship him? Is it merely an intellectual philosophy with no connection to religion, or are there real rituals practiced in the name of Satan? Stay with us until the end, for this subject is more dangerous than you imagine and closer to you than you think. And do not forget to support us by liking the video and subscribing to the channel to receive all new content. Devil worship traces back to ancient concepts deeply rooted in humanity's myths and cultural beliefs. In the beginning, the devil was portrayed as a symbol of absolute evil and rebellion against prevailing religious values. In many ancient religions, the devil represented the force opposed to moral values and was regarded as a being who embodied evil and worked to spread chaos and destruction. In the Abrahamic religions, the devil played a central role in religious narratives. In these religions, the devil is considered a being who rebelled against divine authority. In the Holy Bible, for example, the devil is described as a fallen angel who rebelled against God, which led him to choose defiance and fall into hell, thereby becoming a symbol of evil and hostility toward God and humanity. This perception of the devil had a profound influence on religious thought, as he became associated with negative concepts such as moral corruption, sin, and rebellion against heavenly values. As time progressed, groups and religious philosophies began to emerge that glorified the devil and regarded him as a symbol of liberation from religious and social constraints. This shift in perception led to the rise of modern intellectual tendencies that embraced the idea of rebelling against traditional religions. These tendencies encouraged viewing the devil as a symbol of freedom from imposed moral and religious restrictions, making him a foundational figure for many intellectual movements that rejected conventional religious values. Over time, rebellion against God and the affirmation of human freedom to shape one's own way of life without adhering to prevailing religious morals became central ideas within some contemporary satanic movements. The year 1966 marked a turning point in the history of modern devil worship with the establishment of the Church of Satan by Anton LaVey in San Francisco, in the United States of America. LaVey, who was born in 1930 into an American Jewish family, became a highly controversial figure due to his revolutionary and rebellious ideology. He had been influenced by numerous philosophies that criticized traditional religious dominance and expressed a strict rejection of the prevailing moral values in Western society, which ultimately led him to found the Church of Satan as a completely alternative religious movement. The Church of Satan was not merely a traditional religious institution. Rather, it was the embodiment of a revolutionary ideology aimed at rebelling against the Abrahamic religions, particularly Christianity, which was dominant in American society at that time. LaVey believed that Satan was not merely a symbol of evil, but also a symbol of rebellion, personal freedom, and defiance against religious authorities that restrict individual liberty. This perception of Satan as a symbol of liberation drove him to establish the church as an organization that called for the abandonment of moral constraints imposed by traditional religion and for the pursuit of a life filled with power based on opposing prevailing moral standards, without the need to believe in conventional religious concepts. In 1969, Anton LaVey published his famous book, The Satanic Bible, which became a primary reference for the Church's ideology and its followers. In this book, LaVey presented his principles and ideas that promoted Satan as a symbol of personal liberation. He called upon his followers to practice narcissism, to enjoy life fully, and to reject feelings of guilt, as understood within the Abrahamic religions. He also promoted the idea that a person should not submit to any external religious authority, asserting, God forbid, that Satan is the one who should be worshipped and that there is no God but him. He called for the pursuit of self-realization away from the traditions imposed by religions. With the founding of the Church and the publication of the Satanic Bible, Anton LaVey became one of the most famous figures associated with contemporary Satanism, as he succeeded in attracting a group of followers who shared his revolutionary vision of rebellion and freedom. The philosophy of devil worship is based on a set of philosophical concepts that reflect a critical way of thinking toward the Abrahamic religions. Although these concepts vary among different satanic groups, they all share one fundamental idea: the challenge to traditional religions and rebellion against the moral restrictions they impose. In the philosophy of Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan, Satan is regarded as a symbol of liberation from religious constraints that the followers of this philosophy see as a burden upon humanity. Instead of viewing him as an evil being as portrayed by traditional religions, he is perceived as an icon representing rebellion against divine authority and adherence to individual freedom. Followers of devil worship seek to break the religious norms that limit human freedom in personal choices and beliefs. For example, they believe that Satan defied God in the story of paradise because he refused to submit, an act that devil worshippers interpret as a form of personal liberation against oppression. Within the philosophy of satanic worship, Satan is also considered a symbol of intelligence and rational strength, which, in the view of the adherents of this creed, reflects a deep understanding of human nature. He is seen as embodying courage and wisdom in confronting religions that, in their opinion, restrict freedom of thought and impose absolute submission. Followers of this sect believe that through his rebellion against God, Satan inspired human beings to use their minds, to think logically, and to refuse to accept matters without scrutiny or questioning. Accordingly, devil worship, God forbid, regards rebellion against everything traditional as an opportunity to elevate human thought and the spirit away from inherited ideas and beliefs that they consider obstacles to personal and intellectual development. Satanic sects also believe that a person should live his or her life according to personal desires and should not be bound by religious principles imposed by the Abrahamic religions. They regard this as a natural right of the individual to choose his or her own way of life, beliefs, and actions. In other words, personal freedom is the foundation upon which the concept of life must be built, according to devil worshippers. Satanic symbols and the rituals of worship associated with them constitute a fundamental element of the doctrine adopted by groups of devil worshippers. These symbols are not regarded as mere decorations or superficial emblems. Rather, they carry within them a rebellious philosophy directed against the Abrahamic religions, foremost among them Christianity and Islam. Every symbol and every practice expresses a vision that opposes the traditional values established by religious societies. These symbols represent an intellectual embodiment of rebellion and a reversal of the prevailing religious and social order. The pentagram, when drawn within a circle, is used as a primary symbol in the rituals of devil worship. It is said to represent the forces of black magic and to carry meanings associated with the summoning of the powers of darkness. This star is used in the performance of rituals concerned with bringing about evil or supernatural power. And through it, the doctrine of absolute evil and absolute rebellion against the divine order is expressed. As for the inverted cross, it is considered a blatant symbol of contempt for Christianity and mockery of its teachings. It demonstrates absolute rebellion against spiritual values and is often used in rituals to display hostility toward all Abrahamic religions. With regard to the symbol of the skull and bones, it is invoked in rituals connected with blood and death. It signifies suffering and devastation and represents the presence of death as a satanic force that holds dominance over life. These symbols are sometimes used in rituals that involve blood or sacrifices, and it is believed that some extremist satanic groups may practice secret rites that reach the level of offering human victims. The pyramid and the eye, which have long been associated with conspiracy theories, also appear in the rituals of devil worshippers as symbols of greatness and supernatural power. The eye is often depicted as the third eye, expressing insight and higher vision, and is used in rituals to determine and summon the presence of satanic energy. Followers of these groups believe that such symbols grant them a spiritual authority opposed to religious laws. Satanic music, or what is known as black metal, is considered one of the most prominent means used in the rituals of devil worship. Songs with dark lyrics and loud music, particularly heavy metal, are employed as a tool to invoke the forces of evil and to incite followers of the group to rebel against moral, social, and religious values. This music promotes immoral practices such as drugs, alcohol, and forbidden relationships, and in some cases, it is regarded as an effective means of brainwashing young people and adolescents, pushing them indirectly toward adopting satanic ideology. Although these practices remain surrounded by secrecy and concealment, the presence of symbols and signs associated with them strengthens belief in their existence among circles that monitor these groups. Some sects also promote practices that religion and society consider moral deviations, integrating these acts into rituals intended to enhance connection with Satan. These practices are believed to serve as a means of rebelling against everything sacred and socially accepted, and they further reinforce immersion in satanic philosophy. In addition, satanic rituals are characterized by being conducted in closed and secret locations. These sites are often dark rooms or caves specially prepared for the performance of ceremonies. Within them, magical dances are organized, offerings are presented, and practices are carried out that are believed to strengthen contact with dark forces. Special rituals in honor of Satan are also held on specific dates, such as Halloween, or what is referred to as the Devil's Birthday. On these occasions, gatherings of the sect's followers take place, during which they perform collective rituals that include satanic music and the consumption of food believed to be dedicated to Satan. During these gatherings, beginners are also taught the principles of this creed. In the modern era, devil worship has witnessed significant development and spread among certain individuals and groups who have adopted these rebellious beliefs. Although devil worship has not become widely prevalent among the majority of the population, it continues to exert influence in some societies, particularly among youth and adolescents who feel rebellious toward religious and social restrictions. One of the most prominent factors that contributed to the spread of these satanic ideas has been the media. While it may at times have appeared as though it was promoting them, it has also played a major role in exposing the ugliness of this sect. Devil worship has frequently appeared in cinema and literature, often portrayed as embracing ideas that undermine human values and promote moral chaos, a depiction that has not been far removed from reality. Many films and television series have portrayed the followers of these sects in what is presented as their true image, psychologically distorted individuals immersed in bloody rituals and obsessed with violence and moral corruption. This negative image did not arise from nothing, but from what is described as the reality of their repulsive rituals that glorify pain, despise life, and promote corruption under the slogan of liberation. Through this media portrayal, the image of devil worshippers has become entrenched in popular culture as an evil phenomenon deserving fear, rejection, and complete avoidance by all means. However, with the emergence of the internet and social media over the past 2 decades, the way these ideas are disseminated has changed. Satanic groups have become more capable of reaching a broader audience through open platforms such as Facebook, X, and YouTube. Through these means, the Church of Satan and other satanic groups have been able to spread their beliefs and teachings more easily, enabling them to reach younger generations across the world, especially in countries where internet access is widespread. At the same time, numerous new satanic movements emerged following the establishment of the Church of Satan, such as the Temple of Set, the Black Satanic Temple, and other movements that adopt the same fundamental principles while differing in certain details. These movements have taken advantage of modern technologies to increase their influence over the public, particularly among rebellious youth. The internet has thus become a primary tool in spreading modern Satanism, helping these movements achieve broader reach in various parts of the world. Devil worship began spreading from its origins in the United States, but it soon started to find followers in Europe and in some Arab countries as well. Egypt, for example, was one of the places that witnessed the emergence of satanic groups in the late 1990s. In 1997, a controversial incident occurred at the Baron Palace in Cairo, where Egyptian authorities arrested 140 individuals who were practicing satanic rituals inside this historic landmark. This incident served as a warning sign regarding the presence of this phenomenon within Egyptian society, as these individuals demonstrated clear rebellion against the Abrahamic religions and against traditional social institutions. Despite the attempts of the Egyptian police to confront these groups and eliminate satanic activities, the internet contributed to the continued and even faster spread of these ideas, making them more difficult to control. These individuals exploited the digital space to present their ideas and recruit new followers. In Algeria, this phenomenon has appeared in a more covert manner in recent years. Satanism in Algeria has taken on new forms, with its messages being spread through social media platforms. These groups take advantage of modern technologies to disseminate their ideas away from public scrutiny, making them more capable of spreading and exerting influence. In Algeria, as in many other countries, the internet has become a primary platform for these satanic movements to reach young people and attempt to influence them. Conclusion. In conclusion, devil worship remains a deviant and aberrant phenomenon. Despite its strangeness, its influence cannot be denied in some contemporary societies. It has exploited music, media, and the internet to spread its ideas and to influence adolescents and vulnerable individuals, which makes awareness and caution a necessity in confronting this growing intellectual and religious danger. And here we reach the end of today's video. Do not miss the opportunity to stay updated by subscribing to the channel and activating the notification bell so that you receive all new content.